Did you know the US Army defeated the Nazis using weapons made entirely of rubber and air? It sounds like a joke, but this was one of the biggest secrets of World War II. While brave soldiers fought on the front lines, a special unit was fighting a war of imagination. They were known as the Ghost Army, and their job was to lie to Adolf Hitler directly. Officially, they were the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops, but they were actually artists, designers, and sound engineers. Recruited from art schools in New York and Philadelphia, they carried sketchbooks instead of heavy rifles. Their mission was simple but incredibly dangerous: pretend to be a massive army right under the enemy's nose. To do this, they built hundreds of life-sized tanks, jeeps, and artillery cannons that were inflatable. From a few hundred yards away, they looked exactly like 30-ton steel monsters ready for war. But if you poked them with a pin, they would pop and deflate in seconds. They didn't just use visual tricks. They also used massive speakers mounted on half. These speakers blasted recorded sounds of armored columns moving and soldiers building bridges across the rivers. They played these tapes so loud that Germans 20 kilometers away thought a real invasion was coming. They even had radio operators sending fake messages back and forth, knowing the Nazis were listening. Their masterpiece was Operation Fortitude, the massive plan to hide the real D-Day landing site. They created a fake army under General George Patton, stationed near Dover across from Pas-de-Calais. They filled English fields with rubber tanks and fake planes to make Hitler. The Germans were terrified of Patton and assumed he would lead the main invasion force. This trick worked perfectly, keeping vital German panzer divisions away from the real beaches at Normandy. But the deception went even deeper than just huge balloons and loud sound effects. The soldiers would go into local French towns wearing fake patches of real combat units. They would sit in cafes and talk loosely about moving out soon, hoping spies would hear them. They drove 2 trucks in circles for hours to make it look like a massive convoy was passing. Sometimes they would even use bulldozers to make track marks in the mud for the fake tanks. It was a massive theater production, with life or death stakes for everyone involved. For decades, this story was classified top secret because the US wanted to use these tricks again. It wasn't until 1996 that the world finally learned about these artistic heroes. It is estimated that their illusions saved the lives of up to 30,000 American soldiers. They proved that in the brutality of war, creativity can be just as lethal as firepower. Next time you see a bouncy castle, remember it might have won the war against fascism.